Hi, good morning. Today we will look at syllable structure and how it is conceived in a theoretical perspective. Okay, so what is a syllable? A syllable is an utterance or a segment of an utterance which has a sort of binding, a consistency inside it, and can be recognized auditorily as a separate unit. It generally refers to certain kinds of sounds which are packed together and forms a package with the help of the parts which are smaller than that. The elements that make up a syllable are usually the consonants and vowels, or the contoids and the vocoids to be more exact. Now, each language has a set of syllables that defines its basic phonology. Now, let us look at the internal structure of syllables in the entire scheme of things. But before that, let us look at where syllable stands in the part of the language hierarchy. So, all of you know that language moves from simple to complex phenomena, and the units that are there at the bottom of the pyramid are the consonants and the vowels. Then comes a level which we call as the syllabic tier. So, consonants and vowels come together to form a composite whole in the syllabic tier, which is generally referred to by the Greek letter sigma in the small case, and subsequently this has some of them go on to become a phonological word. Which we can refer to as omega, again a Greek small letter omega. Now, this is the basic framework in the hierarchy of language. Now, internally, the syllable consists of several sublayers which make it comfortable for us to look at it from both a theoretical as well as from a structural viewpoint. Now, how do you define that part? A syllable is usually thought to be consisting of an onset, a nucleus, and a coda. The nucleus and the coda are thought to be part of what is known as a rhyme. So obviously you can see that already there is a kind of a layered structure that is generated. So these are the various tiers, and this is known as the skeletal tier. Now, how do you make use of this kind of a syllabification process? So, suppose I say a word absent. So, let us write it as a gloss over here. So, if I write an IPA, so this would be the structure. Now, you see that there are certain things that we can say about this word. You say it in two parts. You usually put a syllabic boundary at this point. So, this green or blue dot represents the syllabic boundary. In this, you can see that there is one vowel here and another vowel over here. So traditionally we are taught to understand a syllable with respect to this syllabic boundary and the fact that every syllable must have a nucleus which is a vocalic core, and this vocalic core can either be a vocoid or a syllabic consonant or a diphthong or triphthong. In addition, every syllable is assigned to one particular vocalic core. Alternatively, every syllable, every vocalic core is assigned to one and only one syllable. So, this twin definition taken together allows us to look at how to identify the number of syllables in the scheme of things. In this case, let us look at the internal structure of the syllable in a little more detail. So here you have the syllable. There are two syllables over here. So let us look at this over here. So you have one vowel and another vowel. So this is V1 and this is V2, and these are consonants. So your structure would be something like you have two syllables, each with their own onset rhyme, nucleus, coda systems, and then their terminal elements would be there, and this would be realized as the nuclei or the core of the syllables from here. So in this case, the first vowel V1, A, is assigned to the nucleus of the first syllable, sigma 1, and A as V2 is assigned to the nucleus at the syllable 2. Now taken together, you have no problem in trying to say that this can become a consonantal cluster as part of the coda. Now the problem comes when you're dealing with the b and s, which are one after the other. Why do we put the syllable boundary over here and not after this a, and b, s becomes a part of the second syllable? Or alternatively, why do we not put the syllable boundary here after s and before a, and make abs as the first syllable and ent as the next syllable? So, well, there is a rule that defines this. This is called the maximal onset principle, which says that the syllable onsets are the positions where the intervocalic consonants, here these are to the vocalic segments a and the intervocalic consonants are maximally presented to or assigned to the onset of the syllable, unless, of course, it violates some structural parameters and configurational parameters of the pronunciation of the word. So onset over here could have been b-s, and this could have been an empty position, but this is not so because of the configurational and pronunciational constraints. So what we do is we assign sir to the syllable to onset and b as the coda position of the first syllable. In this case, you have the onset of the first syllable as an empty position. Now, with this structure that is present, this goes on to make the phonological word, which then translates into a lexical item as part of your mental lexicon defined as capital lambda. In the next video, we will see how this structure is much more refined in the X bar notation theory.